Hello, am I audible to you? Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, okay, thank you. So let us start the class. Let me share my screen. So in the last class, we have solved a problem where you were asked to calculate super elevation, Kant deficiency, Kant excess, actual Kant, and maximum permissible speed. Then related to that only, we have a special circumstances that can arise for certain cases. So let us see what it is. So it is known as negative super elevation. So for example, you have a male line and you have a branch line. And male line and branch line, if you look at their layout, you saw that there is contrary flexure. It means the bend for the male line and the bend for the branch line is in the opposite direction. Okay, so if you look at this photo in the next slide, you will be able to understand it. So let me use my pen. Okay, so this is main track. This is branch line. Now when it is main line, this is outer rail, this is inner rail. So we know from our knowledge of super elevation or Kant that inner line is the reference line. Okay, and we need to provide the super elevation or higher elevation to the outer rail. If we think about it, then we will be able to see, if you look at this point B, D, so this is inner rail, A, C, this is outer rail. So from our concept, we can say that AC line or the outer rail line will be at a higher elevation, because that is that is where the super elevation is being provided with respect to the inner rail. Now look at the branch line now. So it is having a contrary flexure, so it is going to bend in the opposite direction. So if I look at AE, this is inner rail. If we look at BF, this is basically outer rail. So as per the theory, as per our knowledge, intuition, we would like to put BF at the higher elevation compared to the AE. Now when I say this, now think about the 2 points A and B, from where these two lines, middle line and branch lines, are taking off and going into different direction. So from the point of main track, I am saying that A should be at a higher location compared to B. But from the concept of branch line, branch track, I am going to say B should be higher than A. So what should we do in such cases? Obviously, if you look at the terms, this is main line, this is branch line. So we provide A at a higher location than B, because A is A is to be placed at a higher location considering the main line. So we give priority to the main line and set up the elevation in such a way that A is higher than B. But in case of branch line, what is happening? So if you have a curve, but you have the inner rail at an elevated location and outer rail at a lower location. So what do we call it? We call it negative cant or negative super elevation. So when we have this kind of situation, which is quite visible in case of Indian Railways as well, we call that this is negative super elevation. But in order to provide super elevation, you need to make sure one thing. You need to restrict the speed of the train along the branch line. Otherwise, there will be problem due to the centrifugal force. So this is what is written in the previous slide. Okay, so AC must be higher than inner rail BD. So point A should be higher than B. Whereas in case of branch line, B should be higher than A. So two contradictory condition, opposite to each other. So cannot be met at the same time. So what to do? Give the priority to the main track as I was explaining. So outer rail BF of the branch line is kept lower than AE. So branch line is going to have a negative elevation because its outer rail is at a lower level, its inner rail is at a higher level. So speed on both tracks must be restricted, particularly on branch line. Okay. So there is a method to come up with the speed on the main track or the branch track. Like if the value is given for a particular track and if you are being asked like what is the maximum permissible speed for the other track, there is such a method. Okay. So here you can see I have used a decimal point here. So I can also write it GV square over 127 R and be careful about the units. There most of the students they make mistake. They get very high value or they write the unit wrongly. So be careful. So there are certain things which I have written, but I will not discuss those because those are just theoretical. So I thought that I will be explaining the things how we come up with the value of the maximum speed either on the main lines or branch line using a problem. Okay, numerical problem. So let us see what it says. So it says that a 8-degree curve diverges from a 5-degree main curve in the reverse direction in the layout of a PG track. So we have basically a main line where the degree of curvature is 5 degree. We have a branch line where the degree of curvature is 8 degree and it is BG track. And it says that if the speed on the main line is restricted to 45 kilometer per hour, so which is basically maximum permissible speed on the main line, determine the speed on the branch line. Okay, it can be vice versa as well. So you can see in the tutorial problem that I have asked you to solve, where speed on the branch line is given and you have been asked to determine the speed on the main line. So for this problem, how to solve the problem? There are different methods to solve the problem. One of the method is proposed by Professor Satish Chandra and Agarwal. There is one more method given by Arora and Saxena. And I found that contrary to our belief, Aurora Saxena book is full of error and other things. Some wrong information is given, but I found that the solution provided by Aurora Saxena is much easier. So let us see how it works. Okay. So please note down these two values. So 8 degree is for the branch line and 5 degree for the main line, and speed on the main line is given as 45 kmph. So now I will move to the whiteboard and start solving this problem. I have the message. Okay. Oh, sorry. What did I do? Okay, so my screen is visible to you, right?
No, sir.
Not visible?
No.
Okay, so let me see why this is not coming. We cannot start the presentation. What does it mean? ऐसे ना करो.
So now it's visible.
It is visible? Okay. For me, it is still it is showing some circle, so it is coming up. Yes, now it is fine. Okay, so we have been given 8 degree for branch line, 5 degree for mill line. So I am just writing M, I am just writing branch, and we have been given V for the mill line as 45 kmph. Okay. Whenever you have a speed value given, okay, and you have some degree of curvature given, so as soon as we know that this is a problem related to geometric design, we are being prompted to come up with the value of super elevation. Okay, so we are going to come up with the cant value for which the speed of 45 km/h. How much it will be? So G, okay, as we have said earlier, it is not 1676, it is 1750, center to center distance between the two rail heads. V square over 127 R. So we do not know R. So 45 is for which line? Mill line. So which degree of curvature value we have to use? Right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what is the value you people are getting? Sorry, I could not come up with the values. Please tell me the values. बता सकते हैं कोई please?
79.72.
79.72.
Yes, sir.
What is the unit, my dear? एक बार बता दो.
Wait a second, sir.
Huh?
Millimeter.
Hey, millimeter. This is millimeter. So this is millimeter. So again, remember the formula of cant deficiency. Okay, cant deficiency is equal to what? There was a definition. So cant required for the maximum speed minus actual cant. Okay, so cant deficiency value, is it given anywhere? No. So no, if no value is given, what we will do? We have to use our memory power. What is the cant deficiency value? Highest cant deficiency value for broad gauge rail? Anybody remember?
75.
75 millimeter.
75, sir.
Yes, 75 millimeter. So if I ask you that, give me the value of actual cant. So actual cant is what? So again, आपका जो formula है cant deficiency is equal to cant for maximum speed minus actual cant. तो minus actual cant जो right hand side में है, I am going to bring it on the left hand side. So what I have on the right hand side now? Cant for 45 minus cant deficiency. So cant for 45 km/h is 79, and you people are saying it is 75. So how much we have?
4.72.
Okay, here actually I have not noticed any problem related to negative super elevation where they have used a can deficiency value of 100. 100 millimeter is for the special case, no special permission, special class of A and B route that we have seen when I have discussed about a value chart. The reason could be that negative Shukari elevation is provided at such a location where you expect the trains to move at a lower speed. Even you can see for the problem which is given to you, it is saying 45 kmph only on the main track. Okay, so when you are going to provide this sort of super elevation comparatively on the lower side, because the train is moving as 45 kilometer per hour. If the train has to move at a high speed, 110 as we have solved in the last class, so then you can expect that the super elevation could be on the higher side. So in that case, the can deficiency of 100 millimeter is quite relevant. But when we are talking about a location where you want speed restriction, you will never see a problem. Any book, any references where they have used can deficiency value of 100 mm. Okay, so it is not related to high speed track. So when we get that 4.72, so what is this C actual? Anybody can say what it is? What is this? What did we calculate based upon what we solved in the last class? This is actually nothing but this is the cant we need to provide on the main branch. So when I say this, what is the cant for the branch line? What is the cant for the branch line? Who is going to say this? Not a very critical question, very easy question. So when I am saying cant for the main line is this, what we should take as the cant for the branch line?
So the negative of this?
Yes. Correct, absolutely correct. Minus 4.72. Okay, so when we know what is going on at the B, A and B point, as I have shown you earlier, now can you tell me what is going to be the maximum speed on the branch line from this value? So again, I am writing the formula of cant deficiency. Cant deficiency, cant max minus cant actual, right? So I am asking you what is the maximum speed with which a train can travel along the branch line. So for that, you need to come up with the value of C max for the branch line. How we will be getting that? We have C actual, we know CD for the broad gauge. We can easily come up with the value of C max for the branch line. So CD plus C actual. Now remember, this C actual, C max, everything is for branch line. So there is no specific value for the main line and branch line for CD. This is already branch line I am saying. Now C actual, I have seen many a times your seniors, they have messed it up somewhere here. Okay, what is the C actual for the branch line? It is minus 4.72. Okay, so though this is plus, ultimately it will be minus. Okay, because the actual cant that is provided on the branch line is negative. So what we will be getting? So
Wait.
can deficiency again 75 because we do not differentiate between main line or branch line. So what is the value you are getting?
70.28.
Okay. Hey, you people have calculated the E value rightly, right? 4.72 millimeter. Okay, this is also millimeter. Correct. It seems correct. Just I am trying to see. So when you have C max for the branch line, how to get the maximum speed on branch line?
So we can equate it with 1750 into V square by 127 of R.
Yes. Here also there is a tricky part. Okay. This is really easy. Here also the students make mistakes. So we know C max for the branch. I should not say where the students are student they make mistakes because I can cut marks from your exam answer, but still you are my students. So 1750 multiplied by V square, this is unknown to us. This is 177. Now here actually the students make mistake when they put the value of R. I don't know why. Many students they mess it up. What is this R?
8.
Yes, 8. Don't use 5. Okay. So this is 8. So you know this 4 point something as you said. Only unknown is V. So you'll be getting the value of V which is meant for branch line in kilometer per hour. Is it okay? Now for the tutorial problem 4. Okay, there is a question where I have given you the value for the branch line. Will you be able to solve it? Similar process.
Yes, sir.
You know maximum speed, you can come up with the value of C max. When you know the C max, you can come up with the value of C cant, C actual. Now that is the C for the branch line. Now when it is C for the main line, just change the sign. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In that way, you'll be able to do it. Okay, so now again I'm coming back to the slides. Now in case of curve, we are discussing about the curve, super elevation we are discussing. We have some other observation as well. We have heard those earlier, you people have seen those earlier, coning of wheel, curve resistances. So we say that when train travel along a straight line, because of the coning of wheel, the train try to come to a central position, though we know that there is zigzag motion happen. Okay, there is a term called nosing action when the wheel flange is going to be in touch with the head of the rail. So that's why there is wearing and tearing. Okay, so because of the coning of wheel, this thing happen. We can get rid of the wearing of tearing of the rail head. Okay, because it is centrally placed. Now what happens in case of curve? First one is centrifugal force is working. Though we have provided a curvature, we know that the train wheel has a tendency to move in the straight direction, the tangential direction. Okay, that's why there is a constant touch of the wheel flange with the head of the rail. At the same time, we have heard something about the wheelbase. In case of highway and traffic engineering, understanding the wheelbase is comparatively easy. But in case of railway engineering also, wheelbase rigid and wheelbase flexible are two different kind of innovation. So rigid wheelbase are basically, it do not have any flexibility. If you heard the word talgo earlier, I think all of you have heard. You people must be knowing that if you read about the talgo coaches, you will be able to see the talgo coaches have some kind of mechanism that its wheels can travel with different speed. Okay, so there is a wheel which is on the inner side, there is a wheel which can travel on the outer side, but the mechanism is such that the two wheels, they can travel with a different speed. I don't know how it is done mechanically. Maybe some person with the mechanical engineering or production or design background can give better idea. But this is the mechanism in case of the modern track rails. So when we have seen this photo, that when a train is negotiating a horizontal curve, this is what is happening at the outer wheel. So there is continuously rubbing, and if we look at the other side, there is a chance of derailment because this is what is happening. So as the train has moved in this direction because of the centrifugal force, the diameter or the radius with which the tread portion is traveling on the top of the rail head, the upper table of the rail, is going to reduce, whereas for the other rail the radius is larger. Okay, so that's why we saw a mechanism that we put a parallel rail which is known as check rail, in particular when the curve is really sharp. Okay, so check rail, we have also seen photos. Now, still it has been observed that the flange is going to touch with the rail. And if the train speed is high or the curvature is high, really sharp, then there is more wear and tear. So how we can mitigate it? Is there any way to make sure that the wearing and tearing that is happening, that can be reduced or minimized a bit? Is there any mechanism? क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग? One, तो we have talked about this के check rail. We are making sure that this rail is not going to, this particular wheel is not going to get derailed. Okay, it will not happen. What else we can do? Any other thing just to make sure that the wheel flange is not continuously in touch with the rail head? We have a similar thing in highway engineering. Anybody? Any try? I will not laugh. Nobody will laugh. Don't hesitate. You have equivalent thing in highway engineering at curve location.
Edging of sleepers.
No, we have not discussed about it. So
So
you have been taught about this during highway engineering class, particularly for curve location. No? This is widening of gauge. Okay. In case of highway engineering, you heard some term that widening of road at the horizontal curve. So there are various reasons. There were mechanical reason, there were psychological reason. Mechanical reason, you know that if a large vehicle is traveling with a very high speed or very low speed, its tire, the axle, the front axle and the rear axle, they will not be following the same path. Sometimes it will be on the inner side, sometimes it will be on the outer side while negotiating the horizontal curve. That's why we go for widening of the curve for the mechanical reason. Then there is psychological reason. When we have horizontal curve, there is movement from the two direction. Psychologically, we try to stay a bit away from the opposing vehicle. Yes, we know otherwise there can be head-on collision. Okay. So in case of railway engineering, we also go for widening of gauge. The whole purpose is to reduce the wearing and tearing between the rail head and the wheel flange. Now next question can be from your side. कि सर वी आर ऑलरेडी पुटिंग चेक रेल कि डीरेल ना हो जाए, अभी इसको और भी वाइडनिंग करेंगे तो ट्रेन तो रास्ते में आ जाएगा, इट विल कम आउट ऑफ द रेल लाइन. हाउ इट इज पॉसिबल? So it is possible when the widening is much less. The extent of the widening that is very much less. So what our objective is just to make sure there is no constant touch. There can be some gap, but make the gap really small. Okay, so extra width. So there is one formula. Let us look at the formula later. First, look at this particular chart. What is the amount of widening? Okay, so BG, when curvature is more than 350, you see it is only 5 millimeter to 3 millimeter. So millimeter, you can understand how much. So 3 millimeter and 5 millimeter, it is for more than 350 meter radius. Then there are some other values. It is very difficult to remember all of these values, but again, as I am after you people के BG related कुछ value आप याद रखो. At least for the competitive exam purpose, try to remember these two values. -5 to 3 for the broad gauge and no up to 350 meter, beyond 350 meter and less than 350 meter. So how do we calculate it? Let us solve a problem once again. So these things will be given to you. A wheelbase of a vehicle moving on a broad gauge track is 6 meter. Okay, so we need the data for the wheelbase. The diameter of the wheel, so that the diameter is given 1524 millimeter. The flanges project 32 millimeter below the top of the rail. So rail, so we know the flange. So flange is basically this one, this side, flange. Determine the extra width of the gauge required if the radius of the curve is 160 meter. Okay, so this is comparatively sharp curve. Also indicate the extra width actually provided as per IR standard. So this is from one of the competitive exam. So you have to come up with the values by doing the numerical. At the same time, they are asking for some value as per Indian standard. So for this, you need to remember the values. So as this is less than 350, you can easily say this is 10 millimeter. Okay, up to 10 millimeter. So how to solve this problem? Now, be careful about this problem because most of the time students mess up with the unit. Okay, here you can see M, here you can see millimeter in the range of 1000. It is in the range of 6. Here it is millimeter in the range of 2 digit. Okay, again the curvature is having 3 digit. So let us see the formula which we have to use, and this formula I generally provide for my exam. If I ask you a question from this particular theme, then I will give you the formula. You people do not have to remember me the formula, but for the competitive exam purpose, it is really unfortunate that GATE or engineering services or railway services, they do not give you the formula. Okay, so for exam purpose, you have to remember. So extra widening, this is B, which is wheelbase, this is L. There is a special thing called lap of the flange. I don't know what does it mean by lap of the flange. I tried to find it, how I can see it visually. You people, last year also I said the people that try to see how we can visually see that this is the lap of the flange. Here you have two terms. One is H. This is depth of the flange below top of the rail that I have shown you by a drawing. This D is diameter of the wheel, and again there is this small H component, which is again the depth of the flange. Okay, so H plus DH, sorry, A square. Okay, so comparatively smaller value, large value, 0.02 in meter. Come. And here also you see the formula is set up in such a way that you have to use the unit of centimeter here. You have to use the unit of centimeter here. This is in meter. This is in meter. So let us solve a problem. Please write down this equation. How I can erase those things? So just write it down, 13 BL square over R. Then I will open the problem statement and you people will be able to solve the problem. Okay, is it fine? This equation I remember now. This equation you people can write it down. Okay, so H is given as 32 millimeter, but if you look at the equation, you will be able to see that it is given in centimeter. So small h, you write it is 3.2 centimeter. Okay, D, if you look at the formula, then you will be able to see unit of D is given in centimeter. So here in the problem statement, D is given in millimeter. So in order to use that equation, L is equal to 0.02 square root H square plus DH, that D has to be in centimeter. So D is 152.4 centimeter. Okay. And so if you write down these two, so let me go out of this and open the whiteboard once again. My screen is visible to you, blackboard, whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me write down the steps one by one. So in order to determine how much did I say, 13 BL square over R, right? This is the widening. Okay, now B, so let us see what do we have. B, we have as 6 meter. Okay, L, we don't have. R, what is the value of R? 168. Sorry, this is meter. Sorry. Okay, so we need to come up with the value of L. So what is value of L? 0.02 A square plus DH. What is the value of H? As I just mentioned, that you have to be very careful about these values. So if I put those values, how much we are getting?
.446.
0.446, right? Okay, sorry. I am trying to understand what is the value. Just hold on. Oh, what did I do? Yes, so lap of flange 0.02 a square, in the bracket it is written meter. So now what is the next step? Value लगाओ उसमें and then you get the answer. $13,6.446 whole square divided by 168. Just hold on once again. How much value you are getting?
So 3.215.
It is infinite. Hey, can someone of you check the unit of these things while studying it? I will also check whether it will be coming in centimeter or millimeter.
So the numerator is in centimeter and denominator is in meter. So I think we have to convert the denominator in centimeter.
Okay. So how much you will be getting?
So like multiply by 10 to the minus 2.
Acha. So how much you will be getting? एक बार देखो तो.
0.0321.
This much is coming, right? As per your answer.
Yes, sir.
What is the value as per Indian Railways? 10. Up to 10. So please check this unit, okay? I will also check. I will solve this problem once again. Okay, so it is. Okay. Okay, so widening of gauge on curve. Then again, I have to share my screen. So transition curve थोड़ा basic information आज बता देते हैं क्योंकि you know most of those things. So transition curve. This is a curve which is useful to connect the straight section of a track. So straight portion, straight road, straight railway track. Then we have horizontal curve. So at one end we have straight portion, the tangent section, and the other side we have a circular curve. Okay. So if we provide it, we'll be able to remove the kink. So straight line curve is coming. So there can be generation of a kink. So that kink will be harmful in terms of the health of the track, wearing and tearing of the rail, health of the rolling stock. At the same time, it will be causing discomfort to the passenger. So we need to get rid of the kink. So it eliminates the kink. That is also responsible for the distortion in the track alignment and affect the stability of the rolling stock. So track alignment will change if there is extra force that is being exerted by the wheel load. So we need to get rid of that. That's why we provide transition curve. So what is the objective of providing the transition curve? Similar to what has been taught during the highway and traffic engineering class. So here you can see that we have a straight track, we have a curve location. So the acceleration that we will be experiencing here, radial acceleration because of the centrifugal force, that will be coming suddenly. So idhar tak kuch bhi nahi tha, suddenly you experience the radial acceleration. So that will be discomfortable for everybody. At the same time, as this is horizontal curve, you are going to provide super elevation. So inner rail is at the lower level, outer rail at the higher level, but here they are at the same level. So achanak aap straight track, level surface, both rails at the same location, and the next moment you are going to provide inner rail at the lower level, outer rail on the higher level, which is not possible at the site, not feasible. Even from the stability point of view, it is discouraged. So we can go for gradual incorporation of the super elevation or the acceleration. How do we do that? We reduce the radius of the curvature at uniform rate. So what does it mean? So straight track, curved track, here it is curved, middle radius बोलो, outer radius बोलो, inner radius बोलो. Suppose कोई भी एक आप ले लो, this is R, which is basically small r. Okay, or I will use something. So R is equal to, for example, this is 300 meter. But what is the R value here? R is infinite. Okay, so in order to bring the radius from infinite to 300 meter, we need to incorporate the gradual reduction in the radius of curvature, and that too in the uniform rate, so that there is no problem to the track, there is no discomfort being experienced by the passenger. So introduction of super elevation gradually, zero super elevation to desired super elevation, or vice versa. Why I am saying vice versa? Because the photo, the figure that I have drawn here, horizontal curve is followed by the straight section. But when the straight, so when a train is traveling along the horizontal curve, again there will be straight portion later. So their straight portion of the track is followed by the horizontal curve. So initially there will be super elevation, later there will not be any super elevation. So there should be gradual change in super elevation. That's why there is a term called vice versa. Gradual increase and decrease of the centrifugal force so that the train can negotiate the curve very smoothly. There is no problem with the track or the passenger. So there are various types of shape that we use in order to set the transition curve. This has been also taught in highway engineering. So we have cubic parabola, we have sine curve, we have spiral, we have Bernoulli's lemniscate. The similarity among all of this curve is one. That is, if we go further, okay, we will see that initially that there is larger radius, then there is smaller radius. So there is change in the radius with the travel. That's what we want. So we have straight track. We want R infinite to R 300. So we need something that as we move forward, we will be able to see that the radius is increasing. Otherwise, we will not be able to meet these two ends. Okay, so there are various shapes which provide this gradual decrease in the radius. So let us see them one by one. So first one is, there is a term called Euler's spiral. So there is L square over 2RL. This is angle between straight line track and tangent to the transition curve. L is the distance between any 2 points. This is good, but we saw that this is mathematically complicated. So we could not use this equation for Indian Railways. Then we had Bernoulli's laminescate, which has a shape like this. Okay, as we go in this direction or in this direction. So radius decreases as the length increases. As we move forward, radius is decreasing. And this causes the radial acceleration to keep falling. So that is also desirable from our side, because we want radial acceleration gradually incorporating or gradually diminishing. So everything was fine, but that uniformity gradually decreasing or gradually falling is lost beyond 30-degree deflection angle. So that's why we do not use it for railways. So what do we use? We use a simple equation of cubic parabola. So in case of Indian Railways, transition curve, where we have straight track followed by a horizontal curve, we provide the transition curve of the shape cubic parabola. And it has been observed that you know that we have huge manpower, but they do not have much education. So in order to set those curves, we do not need much knowledge. Only thing is that if we can provide them some background information which they can follow in order to set out the curve using offset method, they will be able to do it at the site location. So that's why, keeping in mind this point, we use cubic parabola. So what is the shape of cubic parabola? Y is equal to x cube over 6RL. Now y vertical coordinate, x horizontal coordinate, L length, R radius, which is at the end or at the starting. So how this equation is coming? The cubic parabola general equation, y is equal to cx cube. All of you probably know. If we differentiate it, cx square double time cx square. Now there are two conditions when x is equal to 0. So suppose if this is straight track followed by a horizontal curve. So x is equal to 0 here. What is the radius here? This is infinite. X is L, starting of the horizontal curve. So this is transition curve, this is transition curve, this is transition curve. So as x is equal to L, we want small r is equal to R, or as per my example, this is 300 meter. So if we change those, replace those, you will be able to see that y is coming as x cube over 6RL. Okay, so this equation is used to lay transition curve in field for Indian Railways. Okay, so I will stop here because then there are formulas related to length of transition curve that we can discuss during the next class. Okay. So I'll share the slides, and I have uploaded the latest slides up to yesterday's class, day before yesterday's class. So please go through those materials. Let me take the attendance. Okay, guys, so thank you.